talk about how to apply the Abhidhamma in daily life. So before talk about this topic, we will pay homage to the Buddha. Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, so the title name is how to apply Abhidhamma in daily life. So here the Abhidhamma. About the Abhidhamma. So nowadays, some people, they think Abhidhamma is meaningless or useless for our daily life. So now, because of that, I will explain how Abhidhamma is useful, no? How Abhidhamma is useful or meaningful for our daily life. By learning the Abhidhamma, we will know which is a good, which is a bad, or which is a wholesome, which is a unwholesome. How is good? It is a good. Why? If we don't know which is a good or wholesome, which is a bad or unwholesome, it is very dangerous for us, even though we have the good intention. Why? I will take the one example. Before Buddha time, there is a people, they also have their good intention. And also they want to escape from the samsara. And also they want to make an end of suffering. But they don't know the way, right or wrong. So because of their unknowing which is wrong or right. Let's say unknowing the way, they have to take the practice, but they are not useful, because before the Buddha time, there is some Brahmin. They also have the intention to escape from the samsara, but they don't know the way. So some Brahmin, they take the dog duty to escape from the samsara. Some Brahmin, they take the cow duty to escape from the samsara. You can learn in the Pitaka, in the Majjhima Nikaya, there is a Kokudawati Sutta. In this Sutta, the Punya and Siniya, before they meet the Buddha, they take the self-duty to escape from the samsara. So because of they don't have the Abhidhamma knowledge. They don't have the Abhidhamma knowledge. So now I want to say Abhidhamma is useful in our daily life. By learning the Abhidhamma, we will know which is a wholesome, which is a unwholesome. We will know. So now, last my Dhamma I explain in the Abhidhamma, you can know there is a true root, true truth. The conventional truth and ultimate truth. Conventional truth and ultimate truth. In the ultimate truth, there are four ultimate reality: Citta, consciousness, Cittasika, mental factor, and Rupa, materiality, and Nibbana. And in the Citta, as I told you, and Citta, the consciousness, there are two types generally: the wholesome and unwholesome, wholesome and unwholesome, kusala and akusala, and the other vibhaga and kariya, vibhaga resultant and kariya, the function, kriya function. But here the important is the wholesome and unwholesome. So, what is the wholesome? What is the unwholesome? We should know. We should know. Akusala, unwholesome. Unwholesome means in the commentary said that Sahoja Dukkha Vibhaga Lakkhana. The characteristic of akusala. The characteristic of akusala is a sahoja, with the fault, and dukkha vibhaga. Dukkha vibhaga is a having painful or bad result. Bad result. This is a characteristic of unwholesome. With fault and having painful or bad result. For the wholesome, kusala, anahoja sukha vibhaga lakkhana. Anahoja sukha vibhaga lakkhana. Anahoja means faultless. And sukha vibhaga, having happy result or good result. So the characteristic of wholesome is faultless, having happy result. So and then we should ask ourselves, what I want, whether bad result or good result. Bad result or good result. What do you like? What do you want? Good results. Okay, so if you want a good result, you should do the wholesome kusala. Only kusala will give the good result. Sukha vibhaga, the happy result. So nowadays people define to get the happiness many ways. But if we have such a Abhidhamma knowledge, we can find the happiness in the good thing, in a good thing. So here also, just because of that, the wholesome and unwholesome is very important for us to know. Very important. Why? I will give the one example. That is someone give the two kinds of food to us. One is with the poisonous, with the poison. Another one is without poison. So, if we don't know the poisonous food, what will happen? We will take it, we will eat it. And because of it, because of this, we will die. We will die. So, because of that, to know the poison is more important than to know the poison without poisonous, no, without poisons. So it is important. So now we understand wholesome and unwholesome, which is more important for us to know. Huh? Wholesome and unwholesome, which is more important for us to know? Huh? Unwholesome is more important. Huh? Unwholesome is more important. Because of that, if we know which is unwholesome, we can avoid to do it. We can avoid to do it. Simultaneously, if we avoid to do the unwholesome, so we are doing the wholesome. Because the mind is there is just a wholesome and unwholesome cannot arise at the same time, but there must be whether wholesome or unwholesome. If unwholesome not arise in our, so during that time is a wholesome. Now you are listening to the Dhamma. Generally, you know it is a wholesome, but someone who are not the Buddhists or who have no such knowledge, for those just coming to sit here and listen the sound, so they may not think it is a wholesome, but automatically they are avoiding to do the unwholesome, right? So it is the law of the Dhamma, the nature of the Dhamma. So now we understand which is the more important for us to know. The unwholesome is the most important to know for us to know. So because of that, Buddhas always pointed out the harmful past. And then the listener, audience, they can know first which is harmful, and then they can avoid to do it. So now, because of that, we will learn about the unwholesome first. Why I have to introduce it to me? You may think almost people, they want to listen the good thing. They don't want to listen the bad thing. So, but now I will explain the unwholesome first. So, why? Because unwholesome is important for us to know, no? So now I will explain the unwholesome first. So now, unwholesome. Which is a wholesome, which is an unwholesome mind? Actually, last mind Dhamma talk, I told you, the mind, consciousness is like a water only. There is no color. There is no color. Also, this consciousness, mind, citta is just knowing the object only. Just knowing the object. But because of the mental factor, Chittasika, associated with the mental factor, it becomes wholesome or unwholesome. Citta becomes wholesome or unwholesome. Like Chittasika is I already told you, like a dye, no? Like a dye. Because of Chittasika, this Citta becomes wholesome or unwholesome. So, if we will learn the wholesome or unwholesome, firstly we should know the Chittasika. After understanding about the Chittasika, we already know which is a wholesome, which is a unwholesome. So now we will learn the Chittasika. Chittasika, we translate the mental factor, no? Chittasika. So actually this one is Chittasika, Chitta and Ika. Chitta and Ika. Chitta means, here is a mind. Ika means that depend on. So Chittasika means those which depend on Citta for their arising. Only when there is a Citta can there be Chittasika. So Chittasika can arise only when there is a Citta. That is the meaning of Chittasika. So, as you know, there is a Chittasika, 52 kinds of Chittasika. Based on it, the become Citta is 89 or 221 kinds. This is based on the Chittasika, because of the Chittasika. Okay, so now we will learn the unwholesome Citta. Which is the unwholesome Citta? Unwholesome consciousness. The mind associated with the unwholesome mental factor, akusala Chittasika, which become unwholesome mind. So there are 40 kinds of Chittasika, unwholesome Chittasika, akusala Chittasika, unwholesome mental factor. Firstly is there are 4 kinds of Chittasika. Those are called the Sabha Kusala Sararana Chittasika. Sabha Akusala Sararana. So these 4 kinds of Chittasika associated with the unwholesome mind. So what are they? They are moha delusion, and ahirika, shameful, and anodaba, ahirika, ahirika, shamelessness and anodaba, fearlessness. And the next one is uddhacca, restlessness. They are 4 kinds. The mental factors are universal, unwholesome, universal mental factor. So that means if the mind associated with such mental factor, this mind is an unwholesome mind. This mind is an unwholesome mind. So the first one is a moha, delusion. Moha, delusion. When the moha associated with the person mind, he is like a blind man. Always in darkness. For example, when you enter into the room, this room is dark. So at the time, you cannot see clearly which is what. You cannot see, you cannot know clearly. In the same way, when your mind associated with the moha, you don't know which is right, which is wrong. You don't know. Because of the moha. This moha associated with the all unwholesome consciousness. As you know, there are 12 kinds of unwholesome consciousness, akusala, citta, 12 kinds. So every unwholesome consciousness associated with the moha. This is moha is let's say the one kind of root. If you have the knowledge, you may know. If you have the patana knowledge, you may know. They are hetu vichya. There is 6 kinds of root. Lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, adosa, amoha. Lobha, delusion, dosa, hatred. Lobha, dosa. Lobha is a greed. Lobha, dosa is a hatred. Moha is a delusion. Alobha is non-greed. Adosa, non-hatred. And adosa, amoha, non-delusion. So here the lobha, dosa, moha, these 3 roots are for the unwholesome. So now the amoha, delusion, it is also the one of the roots for the unwholesome. So these roots are very powerful. Why mean so let's say the tree. The root is important. Because of the root, the tree grow up and also maintain it as itself to stay. So this is because of the root. If there is no root, this one becomes destroyed. In the same way, this moha is one kind of unwholesome root. So when your mind is associated with this moha, so you can do any immoral misconduct because of the delusion, moha. Here we will take the one example. I will share the one story. When our Buddha fulfills a parami, so our Bodhisattva, one life. His name is Haritasa. He's a Brahmin. name is Haritasa. He's a very rich man. But one day he got the sense of urgency. So he having renounced the world and he became accepted. He became accepted, the hermit. And he practiced the meditation urgently. And he attained the jhana and abhiññāna. Jhana, absorption, concentration, and the abhiññāna, supernatural power, abhiññāna. Because at the time it's not the Buddha dispensation. So they have no chance to practice the vipassana meditation. Only vipassana meditation is the can learn in the Buddha dispensation. Buddha dispensation. And also can realize the Nibbana. Now, he was not Buddha dispensation, so only he practiced the samatha meditation. So one day, he came to the Varanasi, and he stayed in the Ryan garden. At the time, the king of Varanasi was his old friend, who was fulfilling the parami perfection to become the Venerable Ananda. So, because of that, this king was his old friend. So that just king saw this hermit, and he feel great respect so much to this hermit. So the king invited the hermit to stay in the Ryan garden, and also he offered the food to the hermit. But one day, as a rebellion broken out in the country, rebellion. So the king himself had to go out to quell the rebellions. So before setting out with his army, he requested to queen repeatedly not to forget to look after the hermit. So the queen did as he told. So one early morning, she took a bath with the scented water and put on fine clothes, the good clothes, fine clothes. And she lying down on the bed waiting for the hermit. So at the time, our Bodhisattva, the hermit, came through the space with his supernatural power. He fly in the sky. No? He came by flying on the sky. And he arrived at the place window. So, hearing the flutter of the hermit's robe, the queen quickly waked. And her dress fell off her. So, seeing the queen as a naked, the Latin delusion, this is called the anusaya. Delusion, moha. But moha is always not arise in our mind. For example, now all of us, I am talking the Dhamma, you are listening the Dhamma. During that time, maybe there is no moha. But just this one exists as a Latin, the delusion. So if there is a right occasion, this delusion will arise in ours. In the same way now, this is our bodhisattva. He practiced meditation and he attained a supernatural power, Abhidhamma. But during that time, let's see, his mind not associated with the delusion. But suddenly, he looked at the queen as a naked. So at the time, the latent delusion arises. Latent delusion have chance to arise in him. So, when the delusion moha arises in him, during that time, he is as a blind man. He is as a blind man. So he don't know, he don't see whether it is a good or bad, it is a right or wrong. He don't know. So he took the queen hand and the committed immoral. He made some mistake. So here in this story, we should get the lesson. This moha delusion is a very, very dangerous for us. It can cover our eyes, like our eyes or our knowledge. So sometimes, because of it, because of delusion, because of the moha, we have to wander throughout the samsara. So, some people, if you join the retreat, you will have the experience. You will know the anika jati samsara. No? In this one, Buddha also, he said that he have to wander the samsara because of unknowing the tanha, no? Tanha, craving. So because of the moha, he don't know this is a craving or this is a tanha craving or this is a the craving. He don't know because of the delusion. So he have to wander throughout the samsara. So now all of us, this moha, frequently or most of the time, this moha give us the very trouble. So now we will ask ourselves, in our daily life, which is a more, whether wholesome or unwholesome, which mind is more and more? Huh? So, if we ask ourselves, and we will give the answer. But don't say, just keep in your mind. But if you know, unwholesome is more and more. So at the time, why? When unwholesome arises, there is a moha. So this delusion, moha, is a very dangerous for all of us. This moha delusion also sometimes, English translation is ignorance. Ignorance. But I'm not sure the English that it is right or wrong, but I don't like. I don't like because ignorance and delusion is English is not the same, not the same. So sometimes delusion is just I told you that don't know whether it is a good or bad, and also this moha delusion is covered our eyes. So whose mind associated with the moha, so he or she is as a blind. But you may say, Bande, you don't know about the computer. So I don't know about the computer very well. So, but it is a no moha delusion, right? It is a no moha. Just I don't know about the computer, but it is a no unwholesome mind. Also you, sometimes some friend will introduce you to another person. Oh, my friend, this is who? Do you know? At that time you don't know him or her. So it is not delusion. It is not delusion. Just you don't know him, but it is not unwholesome mind. So this is, let's say, lack of knowledge, no? Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. Because in the Buddha time, Venerable, as you know, he is one of chief disciples, one of Buddha's chief disciples. He already Arahanta. So Arahanta person, they have the no delusion moha. They have the no delusion moha. But he still have the something he don't know. Something he don't know. The one day, he have the one disciple. He is still young. So, he don't know exactly his disciple temperament, sarita, temperament. So, but he think he is still young. So, the Asubha meditation will be suitable for his disciple. So, he teaches the Asubha meditation for next and presence object, no? Asubha meditation. But his disciple practice the meditation urgently, according to his teacher, give the meditation object. But after the 4 months, he could not get the nimitta, and in the nimitta, he could not get the nimitta. So at the time, when Sariputta bring his disciple to the Buddha, and then Buddha know this young, the disciple, temperament, exactly. So Buddha gave the one lotus flower as a meditation object. So here I want to share is so here Sariputta also don't know exactly his disciple temperament, sarita. It is not delusion. It is not delusion. It is a lack of his knowledge. So it is not unwholesome. It is not unwholesome. So Here we should understand that just don't know that something is not delusion, not delusion. But delusion is a definition is unknowing the Four Noble Truth, unknowing the Four Noble Truth. It is a delusion. Okay, so the next one, the mental factor is ahirika, ahirika, the shamelessness, shamelessness. That means whose mind associated with this ahirika, he or she will not be ashamed of the bodily or verbal misconduct. Bodily or verbal misconduct. It is called the ahirika, shamelessness. So this one is like the commentary they compare. This ahirika is compared to a village pig, which is not discarded with eating the excrement, the pieces, excrement. In the same way, when there is a shamelessness, ahirika, shamelessness in your mind, you will not be ashamed of the bodily or verbal misconduct, and you will not be ashamed to break the precept. You will not be ashamed to do what is immoral. Just we take our bodhisattva, the Harita, the hermit. Because of ahirika, he will not be ashamed to do such commit. It's a very shameful, especially it is a very shameful. He is a hermit and he go to the palace, the king, royal palace, and then he made a misconduct with the queen. So it is a very shameful. The queen and king is a very respect to him. But he did this misconduct. Why? Because during that time he have no ahirika. He have no hirika. The shameful. Only his mind associated with the ahirika. Shamelessness. So he did such kinds of commit. So the next one is okay. So here also we should say this shamelessness is let's say should not respect how to say that should not respect to self. Yourself, for example, you should not respect to yourself. So this is ahirika, shamelessness. The next one is anottappa. Anottappa is fearlessness. Fearlessness is also when these anottappa associated with your mind, you will not be afraid of the consequences. So sometimes you know it is not good to do, but because of the defilement, you do it. At the time, you don't afraid. you don't operate all such consequences. So it is called Anotabat. It is called Anotabat. Moral fearlessness. Moral fearlessness. So this fearlessness, Anotabat, is like a mouth. Like a mouth. There's the small insect like a mouth. Because they also, these mouths, they are not afraid of the flame. They are not afraid of the flame. For example, outside when you light the candle. So at the time, many these moths come into the flame. Because of this, the moth will burn, no? Will burn itself. Will burn itself. In the same way, sometimes, because of the Anotabat, fearlessness, because of the Anotabat, fearlessness, the people, they destroy themselves. They destroy themselves. This is called the Anotabat. This is called the Anotabat. So all unwholesome, based on these moha, ahirika, Anotabat, moha, delusion, ahirika, shamelessness, Anotabat, fearlessness. Because of those, all unwholesome arises. And then the next one is Uddhacca. Uddhacca. Uddhacca is restlessness. Uddhacca is restlessness. So this one is Uddhacca. Restlessness is like a edge, like an edge. So when you throw the stone to the edge, so at the time the edge reach up, and you cannot see clearly. You cannot see clearly. In the same way, when the Uddhacca, restlessness, you cannot know, you cannot see clearly which is a good, which is a bad, you cannot see because of the restlessness. Because of the restlessness. Also, this is Uddhacca, restlessness. Because of restlessness, you cannot focus to do something. For example, you are meditating. You cannot focus on your meditation object because of the restlessness. So, many meditators, they report us, Bhante, I cannot meditate well. A lot of wandering thought arise. Why? Because of this Uddhacca, restlessness. Your mind wanders to the many objects. So here, as you know, the Buddha Kasa, the name is Nanda. One day, the Buddha bring him to the monastery and ordain him as a bhikkhu. So at the time, before he married with the Jāneyyācāra Kalyani, the princess. Jāneyyācāra Kalyani. So, and then when he became the bhikkhu, he practiced meditation, but he cannot practice meditation well because his mind wandered to the princess, the Jāneyyācāra Kalyani. This is the Uddhacca. So, because of the Uddhacca, you cannot focus to the object well. Also, sometimes in your daily life, in your work, Sometimes you cannot focus. You cannot focus to work. Why? Because of the uddhacca, restlessness. So if we know these, we can correct ourselves. We can correct ourselves. So this is the uddhacca, restlessness. This one is also one of the unwholesome universal mental factor. So every unwholesome consciousness associated with the uddhacca, restlessness. So these four mental factors are unwholesome universal mental factor. So if we know these mental factor, and because of these mental factor, our mind become unwholesome. So, and then if we don't want the bad result, we should avoid to do the unwholesome, or we should avoid to arise the unwholesome mind. Arise the unwholesome mind. So we should know. Some people, they don't know, just they find their happiness. Whether it is a wholesome or unwholesome, they don't concern. Just they find their happiness. They try to get their happiness. So it is a very dangerous. Now, all of you, you know why unwholesome arise. Why it's called the unwholesome? Why this called the unwholesome? Why this called the wholesome? So that then you can avoid. You can avoid to do unwholesome, and you can accumulate the wholesome. This is because of the knowledge of Abhidhamma. Because of knowledge of Abhidhamma. So the knowledge of Abhidhamma is very useful for us, very meaningful for us. Not useless, not meaningless. So we get the many benefits. We get the many benefits by learning the Abhidhamma. So Abhidhamma is a very useful and very helpful for our daily life. Now you know which is a moha delusion, which is a characteristic or delusion, which is a ahirika, shamelessness, which is a anodaba, fearlessness, which is a uddhacca, the restlessness. So and then you can apply to arise such a mental factor in you. So and then automatically you are accumulating the wholesome. And the wholesome, just I told you, anahoja sukha vipaka lakkhana, wholesome. Anahoja sukha vipaka lakkhana. Anahoja means the faultless and sukha vipaka, happy result, because of the wholesome. So this is all are because of learning the Abhidhamma. So Abhidhamma is a very, very useful for us. So from now on, you need to learn the Abhidhamma, and you can avoid to do the unwholesome, and you can accumulate the wholesome. Okay? So in this way, may you apply the Abhidhamma in your daily life. Okay? So now we share the merit. No? Firstly, make the aspiration and then share the merit. Idami bunya asavakayam vaham hotu idami bunya nibbanasa pichayo hodu idami bunya Sadhu sazana kadang hodu idami nyadinang hodu Sukidang dunya dayo Mama bunya bagan Sabha sadhana Bhajimi Desabe Mesama Bunya bagan Labandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu